Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we've got another wild courtroom moment. This time featuring a Karen who decided to bring her Kevin along for the ride. Let's jump right in.
Any opening statements from either party? Mr. Ojak.
No opening statement.
Ms. Dehart, is there anything you'd like to say for an opening statement?
Yes, that paper.
I am asking that you, this is an appeal on a case. I just want to make sure you have a photo with you.
Ma'am, that's not the appropriate way to enter evidence.
So what you're saying, Judge, is that a blurry roadside photo, scanned, printed on an old inkjet, and then displayed through a 720p webcam, doesn't actually count as solid evidence in court.
Sorry.
So
okay.
You did enter it.
Okay. You should have a copy of it is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. So what I'm trying
I don't have any, ma'am, I don't have anything.
Oh,
Okay.
at the time of the appeal.
Okay. At the time that I made the appeal, I made this photo, and I have others available, and they received it at the court, and they said that it would be with the paperwork. So I can either show it to you now, but what I'm trying to let you know is that I'm asking for an appeal on the magistrate's
appeal, ma'am.
ruling.
You're
The appeal. This
I'm
is your
appealing.
hearing.
Right. So I would like you to, I don't know.
The better way to put it would be, asterisk, Judge, I need more time to hire an attorney to represent me. Asterisk.
Questions for the officer.
Yes. My question for the officer is that
you were there.
I'm trying to do this correctly, so if I do anything that's wrong, I appreciate when you correct me. So my question for the officer is that I changed my lanes with my, well, that's not for the officer, but I always use my turn indicators when I change my lanes. I guess I'm a little confused about the fact that is not at all, that was.
Ms. Dehart, can you ask questions? It's your opportunity to testify. It's your opportunity to ask the officer questions about what he had just testified to.
Okay, that this testimony that he is saying now is not what was testified in the previous magistrate court. He's changed his testimony from then.
It's not your turn to testify. It's your turn to ask him questions, not me.
Yeah, I'm asking. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm asking him why he's changed his testimony. All of this information is not part of what was at the magistrate. So why did he change this? I do want to know, did he go back and check the lane usage, which is what I was told, that it was improper lane usage because the court magistrate said that the lane was properly.
Hold on a second. Karen, you should have stopped after your first valid question. Asterisk, why did you change your testimony from the informal hearing to the formal hearing? Asterisk, that's fair to ask. The issue is, you didn't give the officer a chance to respond. Now, let's see if you can reframe it properly and actually pause long enough to hear the answer.
Okay, so why did he change his testimony and say that it's not for improper lane use when that's what we did in the previous magistrate? Why is this testimony different than what we talked about in the previous? I was told specifically by the magistrate.
Ma'am, one question at one question at a time. Let him answer.
Okay.
Okay, my testimony in this case is a little more detailed than it would have been in the informal hearing. And the reason for that is, and I actually took measurements on Google Earth and the Washtenaw.org mapping system. That's how I had the exact measurements of the signage, where the road markings were, etc. As far as what you were stopped for, you were stopped for, it could be improper lane use. It could be the fail to yield for merging over. There were a number of violations that would have been appropriate. And I ended up issuing the impeding because that's a zero.
Honestly, That officer could have written her up for several different violations, but instead he chose the option with the least serious impact and consequences.
I asked you, why did you change your testimony? Because the, what's it called, an informal hearing. So you didn't really answer my question. My question is, why did it change from the lane usage, which the magistrate previously made it very, very clear that this was specifically regarding using the right lane to go through, and that the right lane, she repeatedly said that the right lane is a right turn only lane clearly marked, which it is not, and I have proven that.
Karen, you're slipping back into testifying instead of asking questions. A proper question is open-ended and actually ends with a question mark. For example, with Father's Day around the corner, you might ask, what are you planning to get your dad this year? That's how it's done. Now, after all this time, have you figured out how to ask one yourself?
Is the officer aware that at the intersection of Michigan and Riverview, the lane signage that's posted clearly indicates that there is a left turn lane, there is a straight through lane, and then there is a straight through and right turn lane. Is the officer aware of that?
There are, as you're coming eastbound, I'm assuming you're talking about the eastbound lanes. As you're coming eastbound, there is a left turn lane that goes north onto Austin Road. And then there are two other lanes, the inside lane and the curb lane. And both of those are allowed to go straight through at that point.
Right. And that's what I did. And that's what you testified to. And I clearly, why are you changing your testimony? Are you just trying to keep my money? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Karen, you were asterisk this close asterisk. You actually asked a real question and even got an answer, but then you slipped right back into rambling nonsense.
Why are you doing
object,
that?
Your Honor. That's not appropriate.
Sustained.
I agree with you. It's not appropriate, but I'm very sorry, Your Honor. This is clearly not appropriate either. It's a very, okay. And then I would like to say, I do have a witness.
Ms.
Can I have a witness?
Dehart, if you have any further questions for for Officer Belknap,
No.
we have any further questions for him?
All right. Is Officer Belknap aware that I had someone else in the car?
Yes, you had your husband, and he made it very clear that he worked for a police department. And I felt that he was actually trying to get you some courtesy for that. And in fact, that's perhaps why I issued the impeding traffic and not the traffic violation with the points on it.
Can I talk?
Karen, quiet your Kevin. He should have been the one to tell you not to fight this in the first place, especially since you were already being offered the best outcome you could hope for.
And he was making himself aware because of a courtesy to other police officers. And he made it very clear.
Ma'am, you cannot testify right now. And everything you're saying, I am not taking into evidence. You have
Okay, I'm very sorry, Your Honor.
Ma'am, it's my turn to speak.
Okay.
Opportunity to cross-examine the officer. If you have any questions for him, you may ask him questions, but your questions are not evidence. So you do not go off on all these other things that the magistrate was talking about, because I'm not taking note of any of that. Those are not evidence, those are just questions. What the officer is saying is the evidence that I'm going to take into account. So if you have any further questions that you would like to ask the officer, please do so.
Thank you. Then another question that I have is that the officer was not the only one in attendance. And could he please tell me, there was his supervisor or whatever their ranking is, was also there. And
what is the question, ma'am? You're testifying again. Can you please ask the officer a question?
Okay, so what was the other officer there for, other than him? Yeah. And was he, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry because I'm saying sorry too much and I'm not used to court proceedings. So I apologize for all of that. So is there something we can, I maybe would like to revisit this again because the courts did not receive, I have a copy that said they received it and none of it's with the file. And I just feel really.
Ma'am, if you
like
have
Shanghai,
evidence that you would
but-
like to use, then you can certainly try to admit that evidence through a witness. You can't just hand me documents.
Right, you mean like the court? As a witness, submit documents through a witness, which would be
Through their
the court.
testimony.
Okay, well, so I can have,
Quiet. Karen.
I'd like to call my husband, Kevin D. Hart.
Okay, does he have another device or something he can?
I'm right,
He's right next to me, is that what you want?
I'm right here.
Okay.
And please tell me if my window.
Can you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Lower your hand, state and spell your name for the record, please.
Kevin Dehart, Dehart. The first name is Kevin.
Go ahead, Ms. Dehart.
Okay, first of all,
No, sir, you can't
what?
just start talking. Ms. Dehart can ask you questions.
oh,
You're
I'm sorry.
the other witness. You can't just talk.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Mr. D. Hart, not Mrs. D. Hart. Were you in the car with me in November 10th, 2021,
Yes, I was.
as I was driving? In your professional opinion, with over 33
I'm going
years,
to object to the comment about professional
police.
opinion, Your Honor, and we'll stipulate to the fact that he was present in the car. The officer already testified to that.
Sustained.
Yeah. Okay, and did I do any illegal driving during that time?
No, you did not.
Yes. Karen, you can go ahead and bring your Kevin in now. Next voice.
And at none, well, there would be none, so that would cover absolutely everything that was handled on that day, including the line markings that the, do you believe that the officer's statement about where all the line markings are on the road and where the dotted lines happen in the road and where the lane ends and the usage, does that include that all of that was done legally?
Yes, it was.
And do you believe that the officer has changed his story from the hearing that we were in?
I'm going to object again,
Oh,
Your
wait,
Honor.
that was
We're
when
talking
I
about
was talking
testimony
about-
and it-
I'm sorry. I just remembered
Sustained. Ms.
that.
Dehart, please
Yes.
move on from the informal hearing.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So do you believe that the officer's testimony today is not accurate and not true to what he told us when we were pulled over?
Objection again, Your Honor. She's going back to the same thing that you just told her not to do.
You're gonna get a lawyer.
Yeah, I think I need some representation.
This is,
I don't know how to handle it from now, Your Honor, because
Oh, so it must be true just because Kevin said so? And I love how she throws out her husband's 33 years of professional experience without giving a single fact to actually back that claim up.
documentation was delivered to the court.
Ms.
And they accepted
Dehart,
it on
about
behalf.
Ms. Dehart, do you have any questions about the November 20th?
November,
Mr. Dehart,
on November 10th?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
November 10th.
Yeah.
Do you have any further questions for Mr. Dehart about November?
I'm going to go ahead and go along with you, and I'm going to say that there is nothing else at this time that, I'm just all shooken, I'm totally shooken up, okay? Totally shooken up because okay, I'll stop there to try to be more appropriate to you. I'm sorry.
Hate to break it to you, Karen, but you're showing up way too late to the I need representation party. A bit of common sense could have saved you here. And maybe you should have told Kevin from the start that this whole plan
Any
was a
closing
bad
statements,
idea.
Ms. Dehart?
Your Honor, I'm very sorry that we have to take up your time on this because I think that you have not been told the truth in this case. So my closing statement would include that I wished the court proceedings worked and you had the paperwork in front of you that you need, and that the officer's story has changed in three different times. And I just don't know what else to say. I just would appreciate that you dismiss this and we can have our money returned, because as everyone knows, money is very tight these days. And living with an officer for 38 years, I appreciate and respect everything about the officers. I was the one that was insulted when he made comments about himself, because that is definitely not professional.
At first, you might almost feel a little sorry for Karen, but then it hits you. She's wasting the court's time, the officer's time, and fighting against the best deal she was already offered from the start. So no, there's really no sympathy here. She made her choice, and honestly, she and Kevin are a perfect match.
I would like to make a final comment, Joanna. I'm not going to go into about everything that happened before. There's a lot of things you just said which I could really point out. I want to make two statements. What she provided to the court, if it had been provided to you, court staff would have been violating the rules, as they're not allowed to. She's not allowed to provide evidence ex parte to the court without providing it to the prosecutor too, and that would be done in trial. My second statement is regarding all the things she has said several times about Officer Belknap. I have decades and decades and decades of experience, and I actually know Officer Belknap very well, and I consider him one of the most professional and best officers I've ever had contact with. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Ojai.
Can I answer to that?
No, you can't. The way that it works, the prosecutor, because they're bringing the case forward, they get the last word because they have the burden of proof.
Well, because...
No,
yeah,
ma'am, the hearing's concluded.
If you weren't sure she was a Karen before, this should clear it up. Here's what happened. As the officer issued her ticket, he even told her that if she wanted to contest it, she could just say the big mean trooper from Saline gave it to her. He explained he does this to show people he's human, not a robot. But of course, this Karen decided to complain about.
After listening to the testimony from Officer Belknap, as well as the testimony from Kevin Dehart and Lisa Dehart, I wanted to address a couple of things. There was a lot of conversation about a photo that Miss Dehart that she submitted to the court. It is correct. It wouldn't have been appropriate for her to not also include the prosecutor in that communication. Nonetheless, it became clear through her own testimony of what this picture would have reflected. And from the officer's testimony, it doesn't sound like this picture had any relevance to what this impeding traffic ticket is about. So had it even been submitted, I'm not sure if it would have been appropriate to bring forward in this case, because what the picture seemed, what I believe, or what it seems that Ms. Dehart was saying that the picture was portraying had nothing to do with why she was pulled over. So I'm not sure that picture had any relevance. So I believe it wasn't actually submitted. Ma'am, you cannot speak.
I'm sorry.
Ma'am, you cannot speak. As far as the testimony, we did have testimony from Officer Belknap about what happened that day, what he witnessed. He was on the lookout based on the dispatch had given him some information about to be on a lookout for a vehicle, that there were some complaints about a vehicle. So he was certainly paying attention to what was happening at that intersection. He witnessed Ms. Dehart's vehicle sort of force merge herself beyond where the lane had actually narrowed, despite there being two other signs indicating that the right lane was ending. And Officer Belknap also indicated that he witnessed the vehicle behind Miss DeHart's vehicle that she cut in front of had to slow down. After Officer Belknap's testimony, there was no testimony offered from the other witnesses that testified about what exactly happened at that intersection and that merge. There was no explanation or alternative facts given to what may have happened at that intersection that perhaps Officer Belknap may have confused or may have missaw. There was just no testimony given about what happened at the intersection at all. I did find Officer Belknap's testimony believable, and I do find the prosecutor has met their burden to show that there was enough evidence by preponderance of evidence that Ms. DeHart had committed the civil infraction of impeding traffic. And I will find her responsible for that. Fines and costs were assessed previously, and they were set as a bond in this matter. So the court will apply the bond to the fines and costs.
Thank you, Yenna.
Looks like Karen and Kevin won't be heading off to Dairy Queen for their honeymoon anytime soon. Before we wrap up, a big shout out to Old Squishy Gardener, whose channel shares these kinds of stories almost every day. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If not, hit dislike, but don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe with notifications so you never miss new content.